Hiya, it's Jason and Jason's Jungle. I'm going to walk you around the garden and show you me plotted October. Now it's winding down now. Crops are coming out, beds are being emptied, but I'll show you around what's happening at the minute. In the polytunnel, I've got a few things planted up for over winter. So I've got the kales and the spring onions are doing nicely up the top there. If we pan down here, see the garlic's growing, some of it's starting to push itself out with its roots. But the shoots are coming up. And then down on the next level, I'll just get you level, there we go. You can see more spring onions and the elephant garlic is coming out there. Down the side there's the spring onions, and along here I've got some spinach going, and the other two beds up there I need to finish clearing out and planting up. The central beds, well, that's still got the peppers in there. My bird's eye are doing nicely. As you can see, if you look down here, you should be able to see the red peppers in there, so they're ready to start picking. The melons, well, they're getting bigger, but the plant's on its last leg, so whether they'll ripen is a totally different matter. I'll just see when the plant's dead, see if they're anything useful. Past the chilies, I've got some sweet peppers. I've got nice green ones on there, no red ones, but nice and green. So I might just harvest them green. And the habaneros haven't done anything, so I can start pulling them plants out. And then I've got another bed right up the top where I've got some pots in that's ready to plant out. We've got some endives in there, and further along we've got lettuce and some spring onions. Come right back, I'm waiting for the trombones to die off so I can clear that bed, harvest the trombones. And then right at the top there was the watermelon, which done nothing, and a couple of cucumbers, which have got a couple of cucumbers still on them. So I might still get one or two cucumbers, but I doubt it. Up here I've got some gallows that has me manure growing up it. And right next to it, go right up to the top, right up there, 7-8 foot tall. This is tree spinach, just left to grow. Left to go to seed. It'll give us far too many seeds, so I might cut it back so I can get past it. But this was the stuff that has the magenta in the leaf, in the young leaf, and it goes quite big if you let it. But it also produces tons of seeds, which will quite happily self-seed. And the manure, well, a little bit of bindweed mixed in with it, but it's going up all over this. It's a good climate, it's a relative of the nasturtium, and hopefully I'll have some nice roots at the bottom of this. Here we can see my pumpkin beds being cleared out. I've got 32 pounds of winter squash out of this bed. Loads of small individual sized portions rather than massive ones. So that's going to give us quite a few feeds through the winter. I've got one plant left in, which is supposed to be a butter bush, and it's got two, one like this and one like that. Not quite what I would have expected from it, but this is my new strawberry bed, and I'm still getting red strawberries on it. Look over here, you can see they're coming in and ripening. So this should be providing us next year strawberries all year round, once the weather gets warm enough. I spent a lot of time this year pulling off the flowers early on to let the plants get established, and that's them. And then I've got another type. These are the ones that I split up from two plants that I bought, and they're coming on nicely, and they're getting strawberries on as well. Other beds are being laid down for winter. You can see this bed looks empty. What I've done in here is I've sowed some green manure. This has got fodder peas in, so they should basically grow up, lock up any nitrogen that's loose in the soil, possibly lock some in when the warmer weather comes, and the warmer days when the bacteria is active, and might even provide pea shoots. But they've just been sown, so nothing's coming up there yet. At the front of this bed I've got some ochre. This is self-sown, well, volunteer ochre, and I'll dig this up around Christmas time once it's died back and the nutrients have went back into the roots. But I've sown in this bed various different things. I've got some caraway, 2 rows of that, rampion, also known as Rapunzel, 2 rows of that. I've got Hamburg parsley, I've got turnip rooted chervil, and I've got parsnips in there. Now when the ochre comes out in the end of the year, I'll probably put a few more rows of parsnips in here so that they'll germinate in the spring, but I'll get new seeds for that. Now I hacked the scorzonera down earlier on in the year and it's going back again. Provides stuff for the compost, and you can eat the shoots apparently like asparagus. I never eaten asparagus, so I wouldn't know how to cook it. But anyway, in this bed I've also got some lettuce and some, I think it's Miner's lettuce, and then right at the end I've got some sorrel. So this is the blood vein sorrel. So these should provide us some salad through the winter. In this bed I've got giant winter spinach, and I've got Ford Hook giant chard. So again, lots of greens, hopefully they'll cope with the winter weather. This bed has the amaranths, and at the back it's got the tree spinach in. So these have been hacked back, and I've got about 30 meals for 2 people out of this in the freezer, as well as all the stuff that I've eaten. Now I'm letting these just go to seed, and you can tell the difference in this one, the height of these after I've been harvesting them versus the height of the one that I didn't harvest and let go to seed. So in here I've got brassicas, I've got kales, I think I've got well, I know I've got, and here I've had some calabrese already, a lot of kales in here, and I'm thinking I've got a cauliflower at this end. I'm not too sure. It's well overpacked. I always do that, brassicas. Far too many brassicas on them. This bed has autumn cropping beans, broad beans. They're not as good as they have been in previous years. I think I should have planted them out a lot earlier. They've got flowers on. I might get some beans off them. If not, well, I'll just dump a whole load of compost on here and let it sit in till over winter till spring. In the greenhouse nothing's going on much. I've got a few nice red peppers here. I'll harvest them. Oops, I nearly took over the door as I come in. So I'll harvest them. The onions next to them are going quite nicely, as are the onions at the side. There's a bit of chard in there. Looks like there's a cucumber plant still stuck in the corner. But, well, there's some more chard in there in the middle of the chuffer. And down here is the one butternut squash from the plant that's in here. Yeah, great, isn't it? But I'm not worried, I've got loads of squash. And if we look right up the top here, you'll see these are the onions that are virtually ready to be planted out now. And the Ochre, which will be split up and put into the beds or the pot. So we're in the territories. I've got some sprouts in this one, and I've got some calabrese crowded in as usual. But see what we'll get this year. I keep doing my sprouts too late, so I'll not have sprouts for Christmas, but I'll see what I get. This empty bed here, this is where I'm going to be putting my overwinter alliums. So those stuff that I just showed you in the greenhouse, those will go in here. The onions will be planted out. I've got the garlic that'll go in here. I have the elephant garlic that'll go in here. These beans are still going strong. There's a few at the top that haven't dried off yet. These are gigantes, runner bean. And yeah, so they'll be in, well, maybe a month or so, until the last of the beans have been dried off and I can take them out. Also in this bed we have down here some chard and some other beans in there. That's dying off the bologna, I think's finished with. And then I've got some other beans, I can't remember what they were. They might have been, well, I can't remember. Lazy housewife, I think. They were slow to start and got quite a few beans still left on them. But they just need to dry off and I can pull these out. And I'll probably plant, as soon as I've got the chard in here, I'll probably plant out some more overwintering salads in this bed. My leeks are coming back. As you can see, there's quite a few poking up now. Now, my attempt to grow grass is pretty abysmal, they're terrible. So that hasn't worked this year. I'll try again later on, maybe. I've got some skirret in the back there, it's died back for now. And I've got some more scorzonera going along here. So this is sort of a perennial root veg bed at the minute. Now rhubarb's taken, as has the kale that's next to it. There seems to be quite a lot of seedlings coming up here, so I need to get down here with a hoe. And if we walk up past the wheelbarrow, you can see I stuck a spare pepper plant outside. And if you look here, there are 2 green peppers on it. Whoa! Better than I've had indoors in some years. And then there's another perennial, another one of the autumn cropping Livingston rhubarbs is there, and the third one was planted down here. So this is a perennial leafy veg mostly. This is a perennial cabbage, loose leaf cabbage, very mild flavour, and I have a second one over here in between the 2 rhubarbs. So there's a lot of leafy stuff in here. There are, if you look here, some leeks coming through. These are sand leeks, and there is a small wild leek, and they grow bulbils at the top, so they'll spread and they're probably growing in the path as well. But I'm building up the patch there. I have some aluminutans here, and I've got some burr-util onions here. But mostly it's leafy greens, this one. This bed has had potatoes in, it's had cucumbers in, it's had some endives in, and now it's been cleared. And what I'll probably do is pop some green manure, some field beans in here. They're broad beans that can grow over the winter, and then you dig them in the beginning of the spring, and they'll add in more nutrients. It's quite a rich bed, this. But maybe I'll be able to harvest them as green bean tops, so the greens rather than beans off them. And we can see where I've had the cucumbers in here. They've come out, so no more cucumbers out here. This bed's gone mad. There's spring onions in here, down there. There's sorrel, so lots of that. We've got cabbage, we've got globe artichoke, there's Caucasian spinach, there's Babington leek, I think there's wild rocket, there's good King Henry, and there's lots of couch grass. So I need to sort of like dig in this without destroying the perennials and get rid of the couch grass, which is going amongst all the spring onions. So that's going to be a pain job. This bed, similar, and as is the next bed up. So these are perennial beds, but because I've been focusing a lot on the annuals, the weeding's got out of hand, so I'm going to have to redo them and all the paths. Now the Jerusalem artichokes are starting to die down for the winter. Now I only had one flower on these, and if we walk right the way around, did this one right in the far corner, and I stretch really high up. There's the flower, can you see it? I can't stretch any higher. So that's all the flowers I've had on my Jerusalem artichokes. My cardoons have died off. You see the grey husks there, and all the seed pods at the top. I'll just leave there and let the birds help themselves if they want to. Some of them are starting to split and get attacked by the birds, so that'll be good for them. Okay, so that's your plot in October. As I said, winding down. A few plants to hopefully grow over winter. And well, I'm just getting it ready so that when the cold weather comes, it's okay. If you like this, click like, leave a comment in the downstairs, and I'll see you on the next video. So ta for now.